Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and we're going to be doing all of the individual comic books themselves. I don't, it's like literally just in top of my head thinking I should just do all of them right now because, why not? There's like a lot of them, all four of them, but they all kind of have an intersecting story, and I just figured, you know what, I could make 4 individual videos and it'd be like a really cool little cash grab, be like, oh look man, I got all these videos people are looking at. But yeah, I just it's you might notice I don't have a Patreon because it's not really why I do this, so I'm just gonna do all 4 of them at once because whatever, man. Anyway, I'm also not going to be getting into all the people who really did this necessarily. I don't think. Yeah, I probably should. I should, because why not? Plus, I'm seeing, look, here, the Deathstroke Yogi Bear one, what do you call it? Frank, Jellystone Dark, this one's called. Frank Thierry is the writer, but the artist, dude, Mark Texeira. I mean, dude deserves credit on whatever he's doing. Jeremy Cox on colors and Wes Abbott on letters. I'm not going to get into like all the different artists and things like that. And George Perez, Marv Wolfman did Deathstroke. So basically, it's a really cool. I'm going to save myself some trouble and not even put up the images that I've got saved. I'm just going to give you these. Like, look at this, man. This is Mark Texeira. I'm just saying, you can just look at this in general and be like, okay, cool. You know, he did the pencils, he did the inks and whatnot, and just be like, oh yeah, this is a pretty cool art. And you don't think about it until you look closer. Really look at that ink. Really look at the inks on the Ranger over there. Oh, over here. You know what I'm saying? Really look at the detail on the fur, the detail on the picnic basket. Look at the tree. All right, look at the grass in the background. Look at the dust as it's coming up. Look how perfectly it blends over. Dude, Mark Texeira is one of the greatest artists that has ever lived, all right? And I'm comparing him with like Picasso's and all them. Like, this guy is a fantastic artist. And having him be in our medium, in our genre, God bless him. God bless him. That dude legit could have gone anywhere he damn well wanted to. And he's more than happy to even do our little Yogi Bear versus Deathstroke stuff. Anyway, this is a cool little story. Deathstroke, it's hard to take Deathstroke serious in this because he's getting into an argument about who's a better draw. Actually, he's laughing at these 2 brothers who are getting into it about who's better with a gun. Quick Draw McGraw or Ricochet Rabbit. Obviously, it's freaking Ricochet Rabbit, duh. But anyway, the point is, like, they go after with each other, and then they got a brother, turns out, he also goes after him, and he's a big dude, but you just basically get to see Deathstroke kicking some butt and some balls, and, yeah, he goes and he's going to help out, try and find Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo buddy. And he gets attacked by a rabid hare. Oh my god. So, the whole comic book is just, it's silly, but it's also fun. And when you come to find out who the main adversary is, it's actually kind of cool. I actually dug that, seeing this group come back. What do you call it? The ending, I think, was about as predictable as it's going to get. And then we turn over to Secret Squirrel Part 1, Pinky Problems. Now, one of the best ideas that these guys had was you can have 4 individual books, but you're also going to have a Secret Squirrel thing on the bottom, and this is part 1 of 4, then 2, 3, and 4 of 4, right? And all the other issues. So you want to see this whole story, you got to buy all 4 books. I can assure you, it's not really worth it. It's really not worth it. It's purely a Secret Squirrel story. There isn't anybody else special in it. It's just Agent 000 and his girlfriend, yeah, who's also a spy, and whatever. Honestly, I didn't care. I will say it was gorgeous. I mean, like, his girlfriend, oh my god, how you do? How the hell did Secret Squirrel get with this fly, honey? And they're talking about banging 4 times in the morning, and hey, maybe we should go for a 5th one. It's not even high noon yet. Let's do it. Like, whoa, man, this got kind of graphic. But J.M. DeMatteis is the writer, dude, and Tom Mandrake is on art. Travis Lanham did the letters. So, like, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a funny little story. It actually goes really quick, even with just this 1/4 of it. The Yellow Pinky is the villain in this. And it's cool, but, like, honestly, it wasn't anything special, this story. Now, if I were them, what I would have done was exactly as they did, except I would have added that each one of these individual stories up here would have tied into a Secret Squirrel story also. And Secret Squirrel would have had somebody cool hanging out with him. But, you know, put that to the side. If the main thing that was happening down here also had some bearing on this episode, this issue, but then also on this one and all the other ones, oh man, forget about it. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. You know, so that would have made it even better, because they're dealing with their own problems, but Secret Squirrel, he's dealing with the behind-the-scenes stuff that you just got caught up in the shockwave of what's going on. But down at the ground zero, that's where I'm working at. That would have been even better. Okay, here now we got the Green Lantern and Huckleberry Hound one. Okay, this was really good, but I'm going to tell you straight up, SJW haters, you are going to be triggered big time. Because, man, this is Trigger Central over here. So anyway, what do we got here? We got Katma trying to teach John Stewart how to be a Green Lantern back in around 1972 or around that time period. And, you know, you got, like, all sorts of crazy things going on in, I imagine they're in Harlem, but this is the United States in general back in 1972. World War II. Vietnam is just coming to an end. Really quick, let's throw up, the writer is Mark Russell, and pencils, Rick Leonardi. Inks, Dan Green and Andy Parks. And colors, Steve Busolato, sorry. Wes Abbott did the letters. Okay, so this was a really, really amazing issue. This was, like, for me, this was just fantastic, you know? I don't know about a purist, but I'm kind of purist-ish when it comes to Green Lantern. I see anybody but Hal Jordan on the front cover, I'm a little bit upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be okay if we saw Alan Scott instead, because, like, oh, we're going to go one of those routes. But for me, having, like, you know, all these different Green Lanterns is just a little bit absurd to me. But whatever. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? So, they go on this big story about how his brother came back from Vietnam, and he survived 3 years in Vietnam, and then he was killed within 24 hours being back home, basically by corrupt cops. You know what I'm saying? Racist cops. Now, look, and Huckleberry Hound, of course, is in this too, and he's kind of SJW-ish also. It's really cool, man, because, like, he's from Mississippi, and he's got this whole attitude about him. He's cool. And they're also talking about Nixon and how he brought shame to the White House. And I'll tell you what, at least when he brought shame to the White House, he had enough respect of the White House to step down. There's that. Anyhow, what I thought was really, you know, different times, man. What I thought was especially cool about this is that this did deal with things a certain way. Huckleberry Hound hits a cop at one point. I'm not a fan of somebody hitting a cop unless the cop is corrupt. Unless you establish that the cop is corrupt or crooked, just dirty in some way, shape, or form. And this cop was. All of the police that you see in this are pretty much, they're a bunch of racists, they're a bunch of scumbags, you know what I'm saying? And they deserved whatever happened to them. Wearing a uniform doesn't make you bulletproof. Not to the social world and not to actual bullets, you know? It's the reason why they wear body armor also. But the thing that kills me about it is that I know there's going to be a lot of people who are just going to be really upset about this in general. Well, then this book is not for you. All right, I'm doing this review and I'm telling you, this book, don't go near this book if you like the idea of non-white people, in this case black people, actually getting some justice. Okay, because you're not going to like the book at all. You're not. For me, though, this was great. I thought that this was absolutely great. This is also about, you know, when to follow orders, when not to follow orders. And this, like the scenario here, this actually had a lot of meaning for me, myself, as an individual. When I left the military, when I left active duty and I went into reserves, actually National Guard specifically, my first couple of weeks back, I was finally able to find a couple of decent jobs. I was working at a McDonald's during the day, 6 days a week, 2 different McDonald's, just to make sure they didn't give me overtime, because God forbid they should give me overtime. Same owner, but it's what you get, man. When you got a lot of money, you got to find other ways of saving money. So hire me at this McDonald's here, but that McDonald's over there. So I was getting 2 separate paychecks. He didn't have to give me overtime, even though he needed me. Anyway, and then I was also working at a bar and a restaurant, but I was only cleaning in the middle of the night. I would go there about 3 o'clock in the morning. I would go there about 3 o'clock in the morning in these two locations, and I would clean up. And what do you call? Oh yeah, I give personal stories. If you don't like that, you're not going to like my channel. Go away. Have a good day. What do you call it? Comic Book University alumni actually usually kind of like these stories. It's relatable. So anyway, I went there and I had my, I just gotten off a National Guard drill. I still had all my stuff on. I took off my BDU blouse and I just had my brown shirt on and my camouflage pants. And I went there and I thought I had the freaking code for the bar memorized. You know, I had the key and all that stuff, but I thought I had the alarm memorized, and I just, for some reason, I just blanked on it. I was like, oh, crap. So the alarm went off, and the cops came. It was just one cop car. Now, she wasn't smart enough to wait outside. You know what I'm saying? To wait outside or whatever, and say, you know, stop and, you know, like use her actual authority. Because on average, let's be realistic. Your average person, your average human being is not afraid of the cop's gun or any of that stuff on their little Batman utility belt they got. They're worried about that badge, because that badge gives them the right to kill you, and you don't have any say in that. A lot of people, again, going to be kind of pissed off at this, but cops don't get half, not even half as much training as a United States soldier does. I don't care if you're Marine, I don't care if you're Coast Guard. You don't get any of the training that we get. And we're also held responsible when we do something wrong, which is why there is such a thing as court-martials, Article 15s, all sorts of different ways where you can wind up getting yourself into a lot of trouble for disobeying orders or acting out of uniform, for breaking your military bearing in a way that you are actually going to put someone's life in danger. And that includes the enemy. We have to treat with ethics. We have Geneva Code. We have all these things. Cops have a union and their code of silence, which protects them. They're good cops, but we don't hear a whole lot about them, do we? So, as above, so below. Way back in the day, these cops are beating up on black guys. They're beating up on them, breaking into their house. There's all sorts of crazy rules because they got the badge. You know? So, what do you call it? They're doing all these crazy things, and I can relate to this. Because when I came out that bar, I actually had my hand up holding up the keys. I'm like, hey, sorry, I'm just here to clean the place. I got the keys, but I got the alarm code wrong. I'm getting that stuff out. She's getting out the car. She is overweight, does not belong on the force with that body. And she's also very short. I'm 6'5". I'm a monster, okay? Compared to her, short round, I'm a freaking monster. But she's also very far away. She could have just simply said, halt, stop. Stop right there. Don't move. Let me call this in. Whatever. Anything. Wait till backup comes. Anything. No. She pulled a freaking pistol on me. She pulled a freaking sidearm on me. Yeah. Not the first time I had a gun pointed at my face. It was the final time I had a gun put on my face till now. But not cool, man. Not cool. And literally in my head, I'm thinking all the crap that I've been through overseas. And I'm going to come here. I'm going to get shot by a freaking cop. And I knew nobody's going to get in trouble for it. They're going to find a way to pin it on me. Anyway, so yeah, I can 100% relate to this. 100%. Is what it is, man. So basically, this is a social justice book. Social justice warrior? No, it's a social justice book. And this has meaning. This has a lot of meaning. And the end was actually pretty good. It does also, it talks about power. I've often said, you know, a gun is, people call a gun a great equalizer. No, a gun is only a great equalizer if both parties have the the gun. You know what I'm saying? Both parties have a gun, you know? But that being said, it's also a false sense of security. You know, a gun makes a coward into a brave man. You know what I'm saying? And that's nothing earned. Nothing earned, nothing gained, you know? But this does talk about power. It talks about how power is a huge illusion. Power over people is only done through fear until these people wake up. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's something entirely different. I loved seeing the one, I got to be honest, as mean as a lot of people are going to find this to be, I loved seeing the look on the cop's face when all of a sudden he realized that I've got a family. And Jon Stewart's like, and you don't think that we do? Best line I've seen in comics in a very, very long time. Beautiful line. Yo, straight talk right here, man. Straight talk. Russell, let me see if I can find the guy's full name again. DC makes you hunt for these names. Mark Russell. Beautiful. Beautiful. A+ on that, dude. Wow. Awesome story. Okay, so now we go to Nightwing and Magilla Gorilla. You killing me, DC. Hates me some apes. So what do they do in this? They put in 2 apes. That's right. Grape Ape is in this one also. He's kind of the pseudo bad guy. And basically, Magilla Gorilla, he is not sitting in a window waiting for the little girl to finally buy him. You know what I'm saying? Having to deal with, what was his name? Mr. Smeedley? Can't remember the name of the pet shop owner. Anyhow, I have a penny. That was like my favorite cartoon when I was a kid. I like Grape Ape. I love the song and all that stuff. But Magilla Gorilla, I felt bad for the gorilla. I felt bad for him. Then DC started putting 1 million gorillas in their freaking comic books. I'm like, I'm done with this. Can't even look at Detective Chimp without wrinkling my nose, you know? Much like an ape. Oh, God, it's rubbing off. But the point is, Magilla Gorilla is trying to, he's an actor and a whole bunch of, you know, he's like the Orson Welles? Is that what I'm thinking of? No. Excuse me. Oh, for crying out loud. You know what I'm talking about. Played Unicron and Citizen Kane and all that stuff. Somebody will mention it. No prize for you. But yeah, anyway, he's basically just this big time fat cat guy, and he's like, hey man, you know, Dick Grayson, I want to do a story about your family, and I want to, you know, make it a thing, and I want to star in it also, and you know, do this big thing about the Flying Graysons. It's like, I don't know how I feel about that. And all of a sudden, his agent is murdered. Magilla Gorilla's agent is murdered. So he's got to team up with Grape Ape. It's kind of a spoiler, sorry, but there's a whole lot more that happens in here than just that. I'm really hoping that the Grape Ape thing is a selling point. But like they team up, and unfortunately Grape Ape is not boom like that. He's much shorter, and they're like, oh no, we just enlarged him for the movie. I loved all that stuff. I loved it. But yeah, and they have to try and solve the mystery of who framed them. You know what I'm saying? So somebody was trying to frame Grape Ape. I really liked that. The least of the stories that I like. Oh shoot! I should probably mention who actually put this story together. This is why it just starts to get really difficult. Oh, and you made it really small. Really, thank you, DC. Thank you for making this so small. Writer Heath Corson, pencils Tom Grummett, also Tom Derenick. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to do everybody that's in here because it's just too much. They literally like, this page, this page, this page, and this page were done by this guy. This page and this dude. Nope, sorry, lost me. You already lost me. Finally, we have Superman Top Cat. This one was my least favorite because it was just, this was like a paint by numbers kind of issue. It's like, it's almost like they looked at it and they said, well, you know, this is part 4 of the Secret Squirrel story. So if you were interested in the Secret Squirrel story, you've got to get this. Plus it's Superman. It's Superman. You got to get it. Superman. Yeah, it wasn't bad necessarily, but it wasn't great by any means. I mean, all the other ones actually felt like there was certainly some innate silliness in it. You know, the monsters and, or, you know, the WB, the Warner Brothers animals and all that stuff, they're treated as normal people. And you do see some silly stuff like, you know, what's his name? Deathstroke talking about, I've killed everything that you can imagine. I've fought Killer Shark and I've fought Jabberjaw. And it's like, oh, okay, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that happening. But you know, like they go back and forth a bunch of times with that. Really good. I like that. In this one, there's a freaking Kale-ian. This salad bar monster. Yeah, Kale-ian. Oh, God. Anyway, so Dan Didio, I hear it pronounced both ways. Mr. Dan. Oh, God, Lieutenant Dan. Like, how your last name is pronounced, nothing but respect. At least, you know, like, at least when the guy in charge of DC is going to do something, he's going to use his real name instead of using some Japanese pseudonym. Oh, that's right. Is Professor Bill a god? Is he a devil? You know what I'm saying? He casts no shadow, but he throws shade. So Dan Didio does the script. Shane Davis does pencils. Michelle Dalecki does inks. All right, man. Oh, geez. Dean White and Jay Nengen and Hi-Fi does the colors, and Travis Lanham does the letters. Yeah, this wasn't bad. I'm not going to sit here and say this was bad, but when you compare with the other three that were actually really good, especially the Green Lantern and Huckleberry Hound one, that one was amazing, but the other ones were still pretty darn good. And this one is just like, you got to read it anyway. And it was just, the whole entire thing was silly. There's not going to be a whole lot in here that you're going to read and go, oh, wow, they actually tried to make this serious. They tried to take a bit of a serious tone with this. No, nothing was done seriously on this. Absolutely nothing. I don't know if there's ever been an Amazo Prime before, but he's in this. It's nothing. As far as the final chapter for the Secret Squirrel story, it ended because it was time to end it. There's nothing special about it, really. There wasn't any moving moment, although it looked like it was trying to go for a moving moment. It just kind of ended. I don't feel like it stuck the ending at all. So, yeah, unless you're die-hard set, you gotta get this one, then you could skip the last one. The first three, the primary three, oh, definitely grab those. Definitely grab those one, especially that Green Lantern one. That gets the pick, man. That one gets the pick of the litter as far as these 4 books are concerned. That was amazing. Again, there's a personal story in there for me, but yeah, amazing. But the Superman one and Top Cat, I could have gone without. I'm waiting for at some point to see, like, you know, the Teen Titans and the Herculoids join up with each other. Like, that's the one I'm waiting to see. What's up with that? What's up with that? You tell me you can't bring back Space Ghost? And where's Hawkman and Birdman? Where's that? Where's that? Come on, DC. Yeah, we gotta talk, bruh. Anyway, these were good. This was a surprise to me too. I didn't realize these were coming out until Tuesday morning or Monday night, you know, that midnight crossover period. But I had no idea they were even coming out until then. I was just like, oh, look at this treat. So it was delightful to see they're coming out 5th Wednesday of the month. So yeah, you got to expect something like this. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.